Hello guys, NautoAce here, and I want to do a follow-up on my thoughts on the SNES-Mini. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think Monday Nintendo announced that there's going to be the SNES-Mini Classic Edition or the Classic Edition Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Links in the description box on my previous video. I'm kind of excited, and I did talk about is it going to be easy to get? What are the games? Isn't it going to be jerk about it or not? So if you have a chance, if you want to hear it, the links on the description box. So in this video this time is the games that I would like in the Super Nintendo Mini. And I've seen a lot of people putting their lists, and the most common one I noticed, and I can agree that it should be there, but there are some problems. Not all of them, but some of them. So the most common one I noticed they wanted to put in, the number one they wanted is Chrono Trigger. Yes, I do agree. Chrono Trigger should have been there. No offense to the people who are a fan of Final Fantasy 3 or USA 3 or 6. That's a real one. It's Final Fantasy 6. But I'd rather have Chrono Trigger than Final Fantasy. Let's just say 6 for this one, so we don't get confused. So yeah, I would have that rather that Chrono Trigger. Or heck, I take it back. Instead of Secret of Mana, have Chrono Trigger. I'm only guessing the reason they didn't put in there because it's really a popular game. And there's actually, believe it or not, there've been, I wasn't sure if there've been a virtual console. Wasn't really following about it. I can't really remember it. I think it was on the Wii, maybe. But there was Chrono Trigger for the DS. I mean, I think if you may be lucky, you can probably find it on Amazon for $20. Yeah, I mean, it was brought for the DS. I mean, it was popular, but it actually go to the bargain bin. No joke. So that's probably because of been recent version, Chrono Trigger DS. Also, there's the PlayStation 1 version, part of the Final Fantasy Chronicles. Yeah, so maybe that's what they're thinking, that they're probably because Chrono Trigger DS. I mean, you could also say, well, Final Fantasy 6 was also another system. That's true. It was on the PlayStation, which they improved it. They got rid of the bug. Heck, it was even a better version. Well, it's not sort of a better version, but it had new feature for the Game Boy Advance. So, again, this is like the Super Nintendo version there. So, I'm just guessing because maybe Chrono Trigger is more popular and, they gotta mix with the good with the bad. And also, maybe I'm just guessing also because of the design of the character. Maybe they have to pay Akira Toriyama again. Again, I don't know about the business, because if you don't know about Chrono Trigger, the art design is Dragon Ball Z by Akira Toriyama. But it has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z, it's just the design is there. But Chrono Trigger should have been there, in my opinion, also, so I have agree with that. Someone even said, another comment was Earthworm Jim. I played the game, wasn't really that fun, in my opinion. So, surprisingly, I have bought for the PS3 Earthworm Jim HD. A lot of improvement, but the game still's couldn't really play it. So I don't know about that for me personally, but a lot of people like it, so why not? And then there's also Final Fantasy 4, or in America, Final Fantasy 2 Easy Mode. Again, another one. I would rather have Final Fantasy 2 than 3, or to more precise, Final Fantasy 4 than 6. But again, the same deal with Chrono Trigger because there's already that version, and maybe because if you compare the two, most people's favorite Final Fantasy is 6 rather than 4. There are some people who like 4, but 6 probably is your better choice. And of course, Final Fantasy 4 been a lot. It was on the PlayStation, it was on the Game Boy Advance. Heck, there was even a DS remake version. It's even on the mobile phone, the 2D version and the 3D version. And my all-time favorite one, Final Fantasy IV, the complete edition for the PSP, that even has an exclusive episode that connects the two games. So again, that's probably it. They probably didn't want to put it in because heck, how's it right now? If you have a PlayStation Vita, okay, PlayStation Vita, download the digital version of Final Fantasy IV. There you go, the end. So probably that's the reason why they didn't want to put it in. And then the last one here, is the top 4, is TMNT Turtles in Time. Yes, I can agree, it was fun. It was much better than the arcade version, had more content. The problem really with that one, and the most common a lot of people have said, is license issue. The developer of the game is Konami. Yes, Konami. The problem with the situation is Konami doesn't have the license for the TMNT. Yeah, they had renewed it once in order to put in TMNT, the NES crappy one for the Virtual Console for the Wii, and then ever since that they never renewed the license. They did it once because they didn't know the rule. Because like I said, the problem with the Virtual Console for the Wii, Wii U, 3DS, whatever, is that Nintendo, the reason that they don't do a licensed game is because to some extent it's expensive. And I think the rule was that it's up to the publisher whether to renew it or not. That's why Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi, the Indiana Jones Super Nintendo games were in the Virtual Console because there was still JVC games or Lucas. I think it's not JVC, Lucas Games. So they're in the video game business. There you go. This is before they were bought by Disney. So that's probably the problem is it's a licensed game. It was developed by Konami. They probably don't have the license. They couldn't put it in. So anything licensed games probably will be out the window there. That's why a lot of most Virtual Console games don't have games that's based on license, like movie, cartoon, whatever, unless the publisher themselves said, hey, we're going to renew it or we're going to spend money for it. But again, it is what it is. So there you go. That basically the most common one. I agree with some of them. Here's my personal pick that I wish it would be in the SNES-Mini. Okay, I can't really say Super Mario All-Star because that's kind of a cop-out because the game's already on the NES Mini, which, hard to get, never got one, whatever. Yeah, it's Super Nintendo version graphic, and yeah, some of them have been rebalanced, believe it or not. And I know that's sort of a rumor, but it is sort of true, but a bit of a rumor. Yes, especially Super Mario Brothers, the Lost level, it's a little bit balanced. It still plays like the mechanic is still like the NES or Famicom, but they tweak it a little bit. But same deal, it's a cop out. That's 4 games in one. And as of right now, if you're lucky enough, you can probably get it for $20 because they did release it as a Nintendo Select. So I can't really say that, but I can say Mega Man X2 rather than X1. I would go with X2 because again, fun game. It has a better storyline than X1, but I get they always trying to pick like the first of the game, which is okay. Yeah, I mean, in the NES one, it had Mega Man 2, but that's more popular. I guess that's really it. But it's maybe popular because they know Mega Man, the original one, was very hard. That people got into Mega Man because of Mega Man 2. Same deal with this one, probably they got into X rather than X2, but that's my preference. Okay, so another one I would think that I would like to be there that's worth it is. I would say Pyro Wing, but not a lot of people really like that game. I know the good thing about Star Fox in there. Maybe another FX type game besides Star Fox is Stunt Race FX. Yeah, it's sort of a weird, another polygon type Super Nintendo game. Fun game, played it. I really liked it. Yeah, so maybe 2, but I know because you already have Super Mario Kart Plus, you already got Star Fox 2. Why you need a third FX feature game or 4th even because apparently Yoshi's Island is also FX, so I didn't really know that. So again, I did not really know that. That's interesting that it had an FX feature, the FX chip. Surprised there's no shooter there, but I really can't think of anything. But there should at least have been one classic shooter game there. I'm surprised they didn't. I think some people did say Axley was one of the good ones. Or why not? Gradius 3. There you go. Why not Gradius 3? They should have put in Gradius 3, make more sense. Another one is, I was listening to Cinemassacre. I do agree. Tetris Attack, popular game, but I think the problem with that one is, even if it's a puzzle game, then you got too many Mario franchises in the game. You already got Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, and you got Tetris Attack, which has Mario, because if people really know that in the Japanese version, it's called Pan of the Pond, the original version, they changed it to Tetris Attack with all the Mario characters or Yoshi character, is because they might think, it's too girly, because the main character is a female heroine. just like a fairy thing. And they might say, oh, boys might be turned off. Whatever. Another one I would say also Mystical Ninja, but probably, yeah, I don't know. Oh no, because already had Contra, so they probably can only put one Contra game. Either Gradius 3 or Mystical Ninja, but Mystical Ninja I think is obscure enough. I'm probably not going to work. I'm surprised there's no sports game there. At least one EA game, but that's probably going to be a waste of slot because I don't really know a lot of people that are a fan of EA Sports on the Super Nintendo. What else I can think of? Wow, there's a lot, but I can't think of that. What I like. Like I said, I would say me personally, I mean, is Mega Man X2, Mystical Ninja, maybe Gradius 3. And like I said, I can't say Super All Star because that's a cop out. That's very cop out. I mean, if they had Super Mario World and All Star, but again, sort of a cop out, so doesn't work. Okay, yeah, maybe Tetris right, but it's a puzzle game. But you can't really have Dr. Mario Tetris because it's already been in the NES version. Why bring it back? You have to have it something like way different. There you go. So yeah, I mean, I think those are the games I would like in the game. Chrono Trigger would be great. Like I said, Star Trek FX personally, maybe another racing game or another shooter. Actually, I think one of the top of my head. Final Fantasy 4, I know they have Secret of Mana, maybe get rid of Secret of Mana, put in Final Fantasy 4, so you get two Final Fantasy games. Maybe those are some of the games I want, but again, the big question really is that can people really get this? As of right now, you have to turn on Twitter notification like a crazy idiot, I know. And like, is it open? Oh, it's appeared open, man. I'm like, dude, I need help. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know about it. A lot of people are really getting nervous because like the minute the pre-order's open, within 5 minutes it gets closed down because it's Nintendo. I mean, there have been reports that in France, apparently the first initial release, they're only going to get 160,000 SNES-Mini. So again, who knows what their deal is? We just have to wait and see. So yeah, that's my thoughts about it. The thing I want to see for the SNES-Mini, but the games there are really good. Like I said, already for $80. The thing that's really worth it, if you're in hardcore Nintendo, then you got money. Probably Star Fox 1 and definitely Star Fox 2. That's why it's 21 games. So with that, thanks for listening.